Hi, this is Anna, and along with
Jane,
we would like to welcome you to our podcast, Two
Chicks
Unfeathered. We would like to think of ourselves as two seasoned gals that have had our share of ups and downs, but are still striving and beating the odds despite what life throws our way. In our podcast, we would hope to inspire you, engage you, and make you laugh as we sometimes, will fly the coop of sensibility. So if you're feeling a bit peckish for some old dish, I think you found your roost.
welcome. Hi. Welcome to Two Chicks
Unfeathered.
I'm Jane,
And I'm Anna.
and we're back.
We're back.
Yes, I believe this is our 4th episode.
I think it
Yes.
is. Yes. Oh, my
Yes.
goodness. It's going by so
Yeah,
fast, Miss
yeah.
Jane. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it. So quick. And we're having so much fun. Listen, we hope you're having fun, too.
Yeah.
So I hope we keep it lighthearted. Well, most of the time,
Did you
I
get
think so.
we're kind of in our kind of pinky
Oh,
purpley
I
first
didn't even-
day of spring.
Spring, people. What was it?
Yeah.
10:46 or something today. The official start of spring. So I am
Right.
so looking forward to it.
Bye-bye winter.
Oh, gosh.
And that
I
was a rough
hope
winter.
So it
Ugh,
was. It
awful.
really was. It was just so bone chilling. I couldn't
Yeah.
handle it.
Yep.
So, doing anything to start off the spring on the right foot?
Ooh, well, usually as the beginning of every season, I try to clean my house, clean up. Just so I've been, and it doesn't happen like in one day. It probably takes like a good week or so, depending on
I
time
need
and everything.
more than a week, but
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, right. So yeah, I'm switching out. Sometimes I decorate for the seasons or the holidays. So I'm getting rid of all the snowballs and fir trees and stuff, and bringing in some eggs, Easter eggs,
Some
or whatever.
color.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yep.
That's what I'm looking forward to. That's why I'm
So-
wearing this color, and you got that light
Yes.
colors
Yep.
too. Bring it up a
Yep.
notch here.
Yep.
Starting
So-
to feel that warmer weather, hopefully.
Yeah.
But you know what, people? It's still March. Anything can
That's
happen.
right.
And let's not forget April Fool's Day. Didn't we have that big snowstorm? I don't remember what year. I'm not good.
Yep.
I try to keep that in the back of my brain. But
Right.
anything can happen. But the nice thing about this time of year is you just know it's going to get better. Little by little, it's
Yeah.
going to get better. So even though we get that cold, because I did hear, of course, when you're watching this, you could be watching this on a
Whenever.
totally different
Right.
week. But here in New England, I think the weekend, I think Sunday, there is a possibility of a little bit of white stuff. Nothing
Okay.
to get nutty about, but I did hear it this morning.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, but hey, it's March. But
Well, I'm going to start my seeds. I ordered some seeds online, and I've got a space now where I can, like my dad, get the dirt ready, start putting the seeds in, and got a different area to put them in the sun. We have a greenhouse that has a furnace in it, but the thing is ancient, and I know how to start it up. But if I don't have to right now, I'm not going to do it.
I don't
So
blame you.
yeah. So I'm just trying to, save money on electricity and, not worry about the furnace or anything
Absolutely.
happening. So anyways, that's what I want to do this weekend. Get those seeds in the dirt.
Absolutely. It's funny you talk about seeds because this morning, my husband and I, Dan and I, were over at the Shrewsbury Library. Every year, usually around the first day of spring, and today is the first day of spring, they have what they call the lending. It's not lending. The seed. I don't know if they call it the
Seed
seed
share
library or
or
something.
something?
Yes, it's like
Okay.
a seed share. So they have this thing on the board on the wall with all the vegetables or even flowers that you can get the seeds to, and you're allowed 10 packs of seed, only 2 per little item. So we got a bunch of eggplant and oh my goodness. Oh, you know what? I got some flowers too, besides peppers and cucumbers and zucchini and all that kind of fun stuff. I got a flower, which I just love the look of it. It's called nasturtium. Do you know?
Yes.
You
Yep.
do, because
Yep.
you had the greenhouse.
Yep.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was told nasturtium keeps away mosquitoes or repels them a little
Okay.
bit. supposedly.
Okay.
So what I do is I grow them and I put them on my deck, figuring maybe I could sit out there a little bit and have less bugs, but we'll see what happens. But they're pretty in the meantime, so we got some of those. But yes, we start our seeds inside. We have like a little grow room, if you will. The room is actually, I have a formal living room in my house. We don't do formal, okay? That formal living room is my room when I want to take a phone call that I want quiet because it has little doors that shut, or I want to play my ukulele, or we have the growing room. Dan has a little, a metal kind of shelving unit, and he's got grow lights, and that's where he starts his plants. So we have lots of things going on in there.
Right.
But yeah, so that's where I'll start his seeds, and hopefully we'll get some good plants.
Yeah,
so.
I've got the grow lights as well. Yeah. So last year I didn't do so well, but I think I had a poor location for them. We were trying something different, and it's like, okay, I know what I'm going to do this year.
Just switch it up.
Yep. Although
it don't work.
I got to tell you a story. So I'm all, I go into the garden centers, or I'm always up for trying something different and reading up or doing looking on Pinterest and trying to find different ideas. So I ended up going to this place, and I bought a fertilizer that had fish fertilizer.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah. And I thought, this is great. There's stuff that's either in the sea that's been, decomposing or whatever it may be. So I thought, this is going to be great. Oh, let's see what this fertilizer does. So I put some in my bucket. You dilute it, put a lot of water in.
Yeah.
I thought, hey, let's see. My plants are doing really well over the winter, and I put it in. The next day I went up there. It smelled like
it was so
death.
bad.
It was terrible. I was like, oh no. What am I going to do? So I'm opening the windows, just try to air it out. I'm like, what? That was not a good decision.
I don't think it's worth the trouble, even if it does well, it's like, ew, no.
Yep.
I totally get that. Yeah, I remember my dad used to come over, the other Hank.
Yes.
And he used to take care of my garden when he was still alive. And, he used to use all this fertilizer. And, I think he used something like that. I'm like, oh, Dad, please, geez, Louise. I mean, no,
you know what I do like to do is collect coffee grounds.
Oh, yeah.
After they've been used. And it's good for, if some plant or something needs an acidic soil.
That's right.
So I'll go to, I know Starbucks sometimes will put them in the bags and leave them. Not everyone, but some, I've done that where they leave them in the bags for people that want to pick them up. And they grab them, and I'll do that. I'll grab a bag, and then I'll put them out where the blueberries are. I've got blueberry bushes. And just put them around the base and see how it goes,
Nice.
Yeah, so do that. And what else? I have a compost bin.
Oh, we have that too. Well, we don't have a bin. We just have a pile in the backyard.
Yeah, I've got one of those. You roll it around, But so trying different things.
Absolutely. The thing that we do, and I don't know where I saw this. It must have been Pinterest or one of those things. Oh, no, I think it was that guy. He has this reels. He's got these long hair, and he always has these tips on how you can do natural cough medicine or natural this, natural that. And he's really funny and very entertaining. But anyway, he said he's got, when you get the end of the toilet paper roll, you have the little roll, or we call it the toot-toot-oo. You get that thing.
Yeah. I always do that with paper towel rolls, too. I can't help myself. I just do it. Yeah.
But anyway, you get the toilet paper roll. After it's done, you cut it in half. Now, those things are excellent for starting your seeds instead of buying those peat moss pods.
Yes.
So I've been saving them all along. I must have a whole, this table filled. He's like, my husband's like, I think we have enough now.
Yeah.
But it works because they disintegrate.
Yes.
Who knew that this Two Chicks Unfeathered was going to be a gardening show? Who knew? That's why I'm saying, people, you have to tune in. You never know what you're going to hear.
And I think also, I know with egg cartons too, I think you can do
yes,
that.
that's the other thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
As long as whatever it's made out of isn't toxic or something. Hopefully it's okay. But anyways, try different things.
Absolutely.
So that's, I got to get out. I got to clean the greenhouse. I like to clean it every year. which means it takes me a couple days, or I take a vacuum. I'm down on the
That's a lot.
ground, sweeping it, vacuuming it, pulling any excess whatever out that happens to grow up. And it's holding up. It's like my dad used to have 3 48-foot long greenhouses. So this is now there's a half of one of those, and the other 2 are gone.
Yeah, I remember the one when I came
so
to your
it's
house.
just half of that one. So imagine that one twice as long,
I can't,
right?
because that was pretty big.
That was the starter. That was the
Yeah.
first one. So it's seen better days, but it's still usable.
Yeah.
So, but not like it was back in the day. And I'm so glad that I took video of my dad
Oh, yeah.
going out there and growing. I've done a couple different things for him. He bought me a video camera back in the 90s, and I ended up doing a show, and I had to feature him because he bought me the camera. And
Smart guy.
and he had a T-shirt on. He had his straw hat, and he had these like orange shorts that were probably pants that were cut into shorts, and a T-shirt that said "whatever" on it. And I just said it was like, yeah, that was
That's so him. I was just going to say,
yeah,
that's Hank.
but
love it.
he showed, like, hey, this is how you transplant basil, whatever. So he did that, and then I had him out in the gladiolas. And I always like to do different angles when I'm shooting stuff. So this was like, I was kind of down the ground. So he's in the gladiola field, all these gladiolas around him. And he's like, oh, you do this and you cut it and you got to do it at an angle and I grab this and wrap it in newspaper. And that was how he did it. But it was a nice little video that
you
I
had
did
that
about
like forever.
Yeah,
That's kind of neat. I love that.
So, and he loved doing it. He was more than willing to talk about.
Well, that was
whatever.
his thing. That was his, well, that and his cars.
And also
the
being in the
truck,
American
yeah.
Legion too.
Oh,
he
that was
loved
such-
talking about
Absolutely.
back when he served back in the 50s when he traveled and serving his country back in the day.
It's really amazing. I mean, it's hard because we don't really, well, I don't see it all that much. The pride that people had back in those days.
Yes.
It was such a simpler time, and there was, I don't know, they used to talk more together, just have more community, and it's just so nice to bring that back and have, a legacy of that. It's kind of neat.
Right.
Wish we had more of that now. That's why maybe something like this, we're actually talking.
Yes.
I mean, which is kind of neat. I mean, there's so many people that just don't talk anymore. I know with my daughter, love you. But the thing is, sometimes I'll be texting her and then I'll find out she's upstairs.
Right.
I'm like, oh my goodness, come downstairs and talk to me.
Right.
So, it's good and it's bad. And it's, we can always be connected, but are we truly connected sometimes? I wonder.
Right.
You see how that went off? I mean, from gardening to we never know what's going to happen.
Right.
But it's so true.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's bring it back to spring maybe. New things, anything new, anything happening.
Well, I was going to say that in regards to speaking to people, ever sitting down having a conversation, I actually met up with a few people or talked on the phone with people. I can talk forever sometimes to people. Sometimes people I talk to, they just say, I don't know how to talk to you and that's another thing. I just thought of another tangent we could go off on in regards to communication.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I went out with my friend Audrey, who turned 90.
I saw the
February. Yep.
Yes.
And we always would get together. We'd always get together around our birthdays, and we'd go out for breakfast and we'd sit and talk. Well, she had an car accident last year or something. So her car was totaled, and she just said, I'm not driving anymore. And she's in a little kind of a housing authority, when you don't need a big house anymore, and you just need, but she's in a nice little community, and she gets to know her neighbors and everything. So I went and picked her up, and we went out, and it was just so nice to sit and talk to her. And I really enjoyed doing that. And then I had a 2-hour long conversation with another person on St. Patrick's Day. And it was great because we've known each other since college.
Yeah.
And we've both been through some stuff. I didn't talk to him for like 20 years. I was very mad at him about something. And I just came to a conclusion at this point, at our age, at this time, it was like, why am I hanging on to that? I don't want to hang on to that anymore. That's not doing me any good.
Exactly.
So now, I mean, I think when you put expectations on somebody that you want them to be a certain way, or you want them to change, or I'm going in this direction, like, come on, and they're not, or they're going in another, like, you can't force anybody to do what they're going to do.
Absolutely
So
not.
whatever someone is, I accept them at this point. This is where they're at. This is what they're doing. Just be nice to each other. And you can't change anybody. This is just, and I think back in the day, I was trying to change people and help people, and you can't do that.
You can't do that
at this point. I'm done doing that. Like, we'll get along. We'll talk about whatever, and we're good.
Absolutely.
I wish you well. I wish you good, anything good in your life. And we're all at this point going through similar things, like our parents are getting older, or they're getting sick, or sometimes they're doing fine, but they might need a little more help. So it's not all about you.
Exactly.
You gotta
expand it. Yeah.
And I've had a lot of people in my life who have passed away too. So the people that are in my life, I'm grateful for.
Absolutely.
So just and people that are not in my life anymore, I wish them well, and that's okay. I wish you well on your journey.
Exactly.
Whatever you're doing, I wish you well.
And if we meet up again.
Right. If we're in the same and it was meant to be and we connect, great. And if not, that's okay.
That comes with
right?
Age, getting older, your experiences from life, when you were younger, in your teens, your 20s, 30s, 40s. I mean, it's even different for me, 50s. I've just learned from a lot of mistakes, and hopefully I do not repeat them. But I don't want to say I'm wiser, but I think you get what I mean. I'm just through life, I'm still going to make mistakes, but at least I know I don't want to repeat that. And I always make sure and remind myself when I think I'm about to make that same mistake. Remember that thing you did before? Don't do that again.
Right.
It's not going to serve you well.
No.
The same thing with people. I've learned to not push people away. Keep them at a safe distance, that if they want to enter again, there's going to be some boundaries.
Yes.
And I won't let them know right to the faces, but they'll kind of pick up what I'm throwing. And hopefully if they're smart enough, they'll back off or whatever. And I'm not being mean, because I'm not a mean person at all.
Right.
But going through a lot of stuff in our years, you learn not to be stepped on anymore, and you're just a little bit more cautious, and that's okay, man. That's all good.
And that's family too. Sometimes family can be toxic.
Oh, you think?
Right?
Absolutely. So,
they are. I've got some family members, and I'm going. I roll my eyes like, "Jeez, I just don't want to deal with this." But they are who they are.
Absolutely.
What can I do? And sorry, why should I do it? No,
not at this point.
If they tell me, "Oh, this," okay, and I just listen and
I just let it go.
Great,
just let it go.
Great.
That's it. I'm learning to just let it roll off. I mean, I can't handle that energy or whatever you want to call it anymore, and we don't have to.
No,
like I always say, my give a shit meter is set to low.
Set to low.
And
Absolutely.
ever since I've done that, I'm so much happier. Honestly, I really am happier. I just go with it, and I try not to let people bother me. And it's okay.
Right.
It works out every time.
Yeah.
So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Oh, listen to all these things I'm throwing out there. Oh, my goodness. Now I'm starting to sound like my grandmother.
So
whatever.
What do you got? Anything going on for spring or any?
Well,
thinking ahead.
Well, the thing is, still dancing, still doing all that. My ukulele groups are really expanding. We're playing lots of different places, and now that the nicer weather is coming, my Shrewsbury ukulele group, which is at the Shrewsbury Senior Center. People, if you want to learn something new and fun, is every Thursday at the Shrewsbury Senior Center on Maple Avenue in Shrewsbury from 1 to 3 p.m. But you can come, even if you don't know how to play the ukulele, you can learn or just sing. We have people that just walk in, grab a cup of coffee and sing. Oh, and the coffee's free. But anyway, what we do sometimes, if it's a really nice day, we'll tell the Shrewsbury Senior Center that we're going out to Dean Park and we'll play under that cover thing. So it's really fun. We bring, a little lemonade or whatever, and we just hang out, just play music, and we'll just have people jogging by and just stop and listen to us. So it's lots of fun. We even brought it one time to oh my goodness, it's one of those places in a nice park in Hopkinton, and there's like a little bridge with this dam. It's so pretty. And we played there. So lots of possibilities with the spring weather. I just love being outside on my deck with the nasturtium if they grow, hopefully. But just getting out there and having a good time and enjoying the weather while we have it.
Good. Nice. I know you were trying to get me into ukulele playing a while back, and then COVID hit, and I was like,
It screwed everything up.
It really did.
Really did. We were having so much fun, and then blam, everything down.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't it close down like in March?
Yes.
That's when it went down.
About 6 years ago.
And that's when it's like spring. Yay.
Right.
Oh, you know what? I'll never forget about that.
Yeah.
Now that it just came to mind, love to go out walking. I have this, I don't walk that well, so I have a walk assist called a linker. An A-linker is a 3-wheeled kind of device. It's a sitting walker. So just imagine that. But anyway, so we went out to one of those rail trails. That's what it is. In Hudson. Hudson, the rail trail there.
Right.
And everybody's walking. Now, the funny thing was, there's the rail trail, and they actually they put those arrows down. Remember those stupid arrows? Go this way and go that.
In the grocery store? Remember that?
I know, but they had it on the rail trail. I said, really? We're outside?
Yeah, we're outside.
Well, give it a break.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe it. But anyway, it was fun. But just remembering that whole thing, it just got a flashback. And people, like, if they coughed, they would cough to the side. Like, oh my God, don't go near that person. It was just so insane. But anyway, that's a whole nother ball of wax that we don't want to go into.
I know.
But yes, getting out there, just doing things, A-linker, the whole 9 yards. Just get out there and have fun, man.
I know during the winter, I put on a little winter weight.
Don't we all?
Yeah. And so I'm looking forward to getting out. And I always eat better when the warm weather. Winter, I end up snacking on something or just eating heavy food, and
it's comfort.
It totally is.
Come on,
it really is.
That's why it's called comfort food.
Yes. You hunker down and you're eating.
Seriously,
heavy
Jane.
Food. Yeah.
Do you think his celery is comforting?
No,
not for nothing. Nothing against celery here. Nothing against the celery stick. But when I think comfort, I don't think of celery or kale. Sorry, but. I want some, I don't know, something fatty, something warm, something yummy and gooey. I'm sorry.
So, speaking of that, when the warmer weather comes, my skin routine and my skin gets different. Have you noticed that as you've gotten older in regards to winter skin or cold weather skin and warm weather skin?
Of course, yeah, there's a definite difference.
Anybody out there,
Absolutely.
Now we got to treat it a little bit different.
Absolutely, yes. I have my little regimen. Do you have a little regimen that you follow? Yeah,
So,
I do myself, absolutely. But in the winter, I find, it's so dry because you're in the house. It's the heat, and it just dries you out. And then not only that, being older, everything's drying up anyway, so you got to watch out for that. But my regimen is my regimen, and I am very religious with it.
Yes.
Between my brushing and taking care of my teeth and my skin, top priority.
Right.
Honestly, as far as my physical being, there's other things that are more important, but just for me personally.
Yeah.
So,
But I know, like with me, I mean, I wear makeup, but like in the summer, my makeup lightens up. I don't need a lot of foundation or powder, whatever. I don't need that.
yeah.
And I think also as you get older, like you do,
less is more,
less,
baby.
right? Exactly. Less is more and less is better. You know, if I see a woman and free will to do whatever you want,
Absolutely.
but if I see an older woman with like a lot of makeup,
Oh, that cake.
it's like,
It doesn't serve you.
just it's all good. But hey, like I said, whatever you want to do, it's all good. And I know some people that they really put on a lot of makeup, but whatever floats your boat, I guess. But that's just, I have found the older I get that the less
absolutely
is a better choice.
Big time. I've found these. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. I'm not saying anything about buying anything.
No, right.
But there are these sticks.
Yep.
That little makeup sticks. There's 3 of them. I'm going to just throw it out there because there's so many of them. But they're called Boom Cosmetics. Okay? Boom has 3 sticks. Whenever I go away on vacation, it's what I bring with me. Comes in a little bag, like a little, what do you call that? Canvas bag.
Okay.
And it just says Boom on it. But there's a stick that has some kind of emollient kind of thing, but it's made with beeswax and all this really nature stuff. And that kind of puts a little glow, and it's called Glow. And you put that on first. And then there's a color stick. And the color matches beautifully as far as a little bit on your cheeks, just gives that little rose color. You can actually use it on your lips too. Then there's this little highlighter just to give you that little highlight. And I find in the summer, that is the best thing to wear. Of course, wear your sunscreen, people. I mean, that's so important. I wear mine every single day. Even though I'm in the house, I'm not going out, it goes on. Absolutely. So important. So
or wear a hat or something to cover yourself.
Still wear that
sunscreen. If you're sensitive, and everybody's different as far as skin goes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I found that I have my father's skin. My father would go out, and it's like, even in the winter, he looked like he had a tan.
Yeah,
sometimes.
no,
he just had that skin. But I try to, at night, I'll put vitamin E, or coconut oil. I try to do as much natural stuff as possible. I don't want to necessarily go out and buy the most expensive whatever stuff, because it's fine if that's what you want to do. But I've found that keeping with natural stuff is better.
Absolutely.
For me. That works for me. And I also, coconut oil, even like honey, or just more stuff you find in nature. I actually put a spoon in the freezer.
Oh, what, for your eyes?
Yes.
Are you going to say that?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I've heard of that. Yes.
I used to do that when I was working at this one place. I stuck a spoon in the freezer, and whenever I got to be on TV, I'd go in the freezer and take it and put it under my eyes to get rid of any puffiness in the morning.
And it works.
But I'm sure that all the guys I worked with were like, what's up with the
that?
spoon in the freezer? What is she doing now? But it worked for me.
Hey, whatever works. I mean, like I said, I have my own little regimen that I do every day. I have a morning regimen and I have my evening regimen.
Yep.
But the thing is, the one thing I find that's so important, which would be the SPF. So what I do is the moisturizer I use last in my regimen in the morning also has a SPF. So I'm moisturizing and putting on that SPF, so I don't even have to think about it. So it's in and out like within 15 minutes. Right. I don't typically wear makeup during the week. I think I mentioned this at the beginning, and we all know here that I am with a performing group of belly dancers. So, we do put a heck of a lot of makeup on for that. But once I come home, put on that cleansing balm, baby, that stuff is off.
Right.
I can't handle it anymore. But, for that's when I wear my makeup.
Or whatever.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know all about that.
Yep.
But during the week, no makeup. None. I mean, even today, I'm not wearing foundation. It's like what you see is what you get. Right. I mean, I have a little bit of mascara on just so, I don't have little turtle eyes.
Yes,
but, a little something. I want to have a little self-pride.
Right.
But, I mean, years ago, I have to be honest. I mean, I've changed so much. Years ago, I've done Botox. I've done fillers. this was, I guess, in my, I'm going to say 50s when I
Okay.
was doing
Yep.
that.
I remember you were trying.
Yes. And then now it's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not doing this anymore.
Right,
First of all,
right.
it's expensive. Nobody
Yes.
wants to do that anymore.
Right.
But I mean, not only that, I'm happy with myself. I just want a better version of myself. Be comfortable
Yes.
and do it with less. I mean,
And we're not fooling anybody here.
no. We're not fooling anybody. I am what I am.
Right.
And I'm grateful that I wake
And
up every day.
I feel like I'd look weird if I was trying to look like a 20-year-old. That would be weird. Let me do what you want. I always say that. But
Please.
I think aging gracefully, but again, taking care of yourself. If that's what you choose to do. I don't smoke, never have.
No.
So I think it kind of ages.
Oh, absolutely. I smoked when I was younger, gave it up in my 30s, but still.
I used to smoke a clove here and there when I would
there you
go
go.
out. But
Of
it was,
course.
everybody did. You go to the bar, you come home, your hair would smell like cigarettes, right? Do you remember that?
Oh,
with our Aquanet and our
please.
cigarettes.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
so gross. And I'm like, do I take a shower and wash my hair before I go to bed?
Or you put that spray in. What was that spray? Well, not only Aquanet, the stuff that used to.
That's the cheapo.
Oh,
stuff.
that was the
worst.
gold standard at that time. Not only that was
keeping it. Yeah, exactly.
That 80s hair, man, the
keeping
bigger.
it in place. Oh, but it was. I remember hairdressers saying like, "You use an Aquanet." I said, "Well, I just kind of started." She's like, "Don't use that anymore."
I know
I'm
it's
like,
the worst. It is the worst,
bad.
but too much fun.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that was the times, man. That was all. That was it.
It is. And think back to like the '60s and the women with their bouffants. And
Oh
all
my gosh.
and ratting the hair to make it poof.
Well,
and
it was
stay
called
up.
teasing
Teasing
your hair.
Yeah.
One thing I remember is my mother. She had the bangs, and it's kind of funny because I have wavy hair. But and I didn't know this. That's a whole nother story for another day. But I always remember my mother used to make her bangs like swerve to the side. But what she did is she used to get this hair tape and put this pink hair tape here. So then she used to make it go to the side and then have like 3 curlers in her head. And they'd stay in all day.
Right.
And then coming out, oh, not till tomorrow when I got to go out.
Right, right. You went out. Yeah, you had to.
Or the pin curls. Remember pin curls?
Oh, my mother had.
God.
My mother had those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, your mother was gorgeous. Oh my gosh, she's such a pretty lady.
She was. Yeah, she was.
She was a pretty lady.
She was.
Absolutely. But all these things we remember from years ago.
Yeah. She was coloring her hair for quite a while, and then when she turned, I think 40, she just stopped, and she had this beautiful silver hair.
Yeah,
Everybody
she was
would
very
say,
lucky.
"Where did you get your hair done?" She goes, "Well, it's just
This is it, baby.
I stopped coloring, so this is what it looks like." And
She was
oh
so
my God.
lucky. Yeah.
But I still have some of her pins.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah, hung on to them. But anyways, so there was all kinds of stuff you used to do, and now it's a whole other can of worms as far as you see stuff on TikTok and Instagram and these younger and women our age too. I've seen them like they're actually regular looking, but they're influencers, and they're like, "Oh my God, I got this thing." And don't you hate it when this happens? And they, and they go through this whole thing, and I'm like, okay, I can watch it for a few minutes or even a few seconds, and then I go,
I'm done.
It's just done. I
The
can't.
other thing is we're not even sure if what we see is real because of all these filters.
Yes.
It's like, give me a break. These people don't even look like that because you'll see them in another actual picture, maybe somewhere else. And it's like, oh my God, is that same girl? Because as they're filming it or whatever they're doing, they put on a filter.
Yes.
It's like, give me a break. They don't even look like themselves. So we don't know what's real and what's not.
Right.
That's why just live up to what you think you want to look like.
Right.
That's the way I do
Right.
it. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't need to be the girl, the influencer that's doing the whatever MAC makeup or whatever.
Yeah, right.
I just want to be the best that I can be and be happy with me.
Yes.
That is the most important thing to me at this
Absolutely.
point in my life. But then I'm 72. If I don't learn it from now, when am I going to learn?
And it's like if you you don't feel up to it, or you're going through something and you're not feeling well, and you just I don't feel like doing this today. And I totally get it when people are like that. I'm like I like to leave the house looking presentable. I like to leave because I'm going to run into somebody. I'm going to run into somebody.
Absolutely.
Grocery store or wherever. Yeah. And the one day that I've got
just gonna say
nothing and I'm wearing, it's, oh, hey, how's it going? Oh, God.
Like, oh,
Girl,
God, why
run
me?
away.
Why
But-
me, God?
But I mean, some people just don't care and they show up in their pajama bottoms and they
Oh, no,
go,
that's not me.
That's
Sorry.
not happening. I'm not doing that. And I'm not saying I'm going to wear my pearls and my
Oh,
whatever.
no.
Like
But
back
you
in the
want to be
day.
you
But
out
yes,
there.
yeah. I just think, hey, I get it if you're not up for doing the whatever. I get it. Sometimes you just don't,
Yeah, but
But it feels good for me. I feel good when I'm going, all right, I found these earrings. These I got in high school. I was looking for something
How
to
cool.
match.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the ones I wanted. They're paper and you roll it.
Oh, I
and
know
you
what
put,
those are.
Yeah,
Those are
yeah.
so cool.
So-
and I'm loving your necklace too. I noticed that as
Yes,
soon
the
as I
little
came
rose
in.
quartz.
It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
pretty.
So anyways, I just,
Yeah, all these little things help to make you feel
I want
better.
to feel good. I want to feel good when I'm out and about. I
Absolutely.
don't want to feel like crap, or be Debbie Downer or whatever. I don't want to do that. So,
Well, the
but
other
it's
thing-
okay. Sometimes you have
Oh,
those
yeah.
days too. You just don't.
Absolutely.
But-
well, the thing is, what's nice about what you're saying is you're doing it for you.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
not doing it for
anyone
him or
else.
her
No,
or whatever.
No.
And see, that's the beauty, I think, of getting older. Whereas when we were
Yes.
younger, we did it for everybody else. We had
Right.
to look good for the guy that we, thought we liked in 8th grade or whatever. And now it's like, I want to look good for me.
Yeah.
And finally, after all these years, it's amazing when you
Yeah.
think of it. It took that long to do this. But
Right,
whatever, I got
right.
the rest of my life, how
Right,
long
right.
that's going to be, let's hope. But, that's the whole thing. You just want to do it for yourself.
That's right.
Wear the ball gown. You want to wear the ball gown, wear the ball gown. Nobody cares.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Um,
I'm afraid.
have you been to any of your high school reunions?
You know what? I was going to go one. I can't remember how many years it was, but I didn't go.
Okay.
I didn't go. And I think it was because at the time I was going out with somebody that it didn't work out with. And I didn't want to go back because I didn't want to hear all the flack. I think I said, you know what? I don't want to go back.
Okay.
So I didn't. So what
Okay.
about you?
Have they had any other ones since then? Or was there just kind of the one? You're out
No,
of the loop?
I actually did go to one, and this
Okay.
was like, I'm going to call it now because
Yeah.
it's with my husband Dan,
Yes.
who you know,
Yeah.
and we went to one. It was in Staten Island, New York, and it was so much fun because we were all so beyond that. We're
Yes,
talking
yes.
maybe 10 years ago. Okay,
Okay.
so I was 62 then.
yeah.
So we were all in a different part of our lives. So the first one I didn't want to go to because we were still young then, if
Yeah.
you will.
Right.
And there was just too much baggage. But see,
Yeah.
that goes back to thinking about others. This one I went back. I'm going back because I feel
Right.
good about myself. And you know what? I had the best time, and we all had the best time.
Yeah.
And we still keep touch on Facebook.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, it was kind of. I'm glad you asked that. I
Okay.
completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what about you?
Well, I got a notice that, and I kind of keep in touch with some people. We had a small school. I think there was maybe like 66 people in my
Oh,
graduating
that's
class.
tiny.
Yeah, it was small.
Yeah.
And the high school's gone. They tore
Wow.
it down back in 2005. It's a pharmacy, and that
Oh, my
pharmacy
goodness.
became another pharmacy. So anyways, I went to Rite Aid High or whatever. That's what I tell people. It's just, yeah, whatever. So anyways, but I've been to a few of them, and my mom and I actually, she kind of went to the same school. It wasn't the school, but it was the same affiliation.
Mhm.
So we ended up going kind of her group and my group. It was an overall, everybody from the school from whenever go and show up. So that was years ago. But now we're having a big number coming up. And I already I have seen a group of girls, and they're very nice. I went to school in a different town that I live in. I moved around to a couple different schools. So it was hard for me to maintain friends. I got taken out of the school I was in the town that I grew up in. So all those friends I lost. I went to another one. I was there for a year and a half, moved on from there, went to another one, and then from there and into high school. So that connection, it was always the new
Yeah,
girl.
yeah, exactly.
And it was really hard to kind of fit in when there's already a clique and there's already a
Lots
group,
of cliques,
an established group. So they've in the last few years was maybe about, I don't know, 8 to 10 of us that have gotten together, and I've really enjoyed getting together. And so now on Facebook, there's our class, our year, there's a group. So anybody, if we're not connected on Facebook per se, we're not friends or whatever, we're in that group. So there was an announcement last week that, we're having our, reunion and all. We're going to have it on this date. Put it in, pencil it in. We're going to have it on this date, this time at this place. So, okay. But a couple of years ago, it was a bigger production. And now it's like, I don't want to do a big production about it. Let's just meet up. We'll chat or whatever. So I don't know. I'm debating whether I want to go or not. The last one I went to, it was, I think, like you're saying, you're at a different phase.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say to people. It was the same questions for everybody. Oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah, you married? Yeah, what are you doing for work? How are the kids? Kids are good? Yeah, okay. I don't really know you, so I guess I'll go on to the next person and ask the same questions. It was so awkward for me.
Like a speed dating thing or a speed high school thing.
And then I'm like, are we going to keep in touch after this? Maybe not. Probably not. So I just felt very awkward. And as much as I like to see people, I don't know. I just, there's one person that I keep in touch with who we will talk, and she's going through some stuff with her dad, and she'll call me and be like, I'm following your lead as far as how to deal with the dad issue. And, so I appreciate it. And she's helped me with some stuff when I needed health insurance. She's really good at, you contact this and you call this and this is what you say. And she was good at helping me with that. But I don't know. I don't know whether I want to go or not. And people be, oh, come on, go. And I'm like, I'm not from town. I didn't grow up in that town. The ladies that I meet with, I'll get together with them. But everybody else, I don't know what to say. What do you talk about?
The funny thing I have to say about the reunion I went to later, I actually got to be friends with people that I wasn't friends with then.
Right.
And it's kind of weird because I remember seeing them in the distance because they were in a different clique. Because you knew the way. Well, I think every high school's like that. You have your little cliques, the jocks and the rockers and the stoners and the whatevers. And I found myself getting along with kids I didn't think I would get. Well, people get along with then, and it's like, oh my goodness! Now I speak to them more. So you might find that too. Maybe. That might be another angle to look at. So the thing is, if you go, you don't like it, leave. But you never know. It might be kind of fun.
But I don't want to get too fully invested. Like they're like, who's going to help out planning? And I'm kind of like,
that's where I'd step back. No, I'm good. No, I'm sorry. Yeah,
if I go, I'll go. Hey, how's it go? And if it feels
observer,
if it'll just kind of hover in the back, and I don't need to. I don't know. I think I don't want to overplan, and I'm not saying that I'm trying to be a bad person and not help out. I just we need help contacting people. Well, I don't talk to anybody. You guys are the ones that talk to people.
I wouldn't get into that.
I'm not doing that. So.
I would just go. Just go.
I'll go.
And just
probably if I go.
Almost that when we were talking about the fly on wall.
Yes.
Almost do that and feel it out. You might meet somebody that you'd say, oh my goodness, I never knew the kind of person you were, and not that you're going to say this and say, wow, we really have so much in common or whatever.
And that's why I was tying into the whole thing about where it's, we've come so far. We've been through so many different phases. I am not the same person I was in high school. Thank God. I mean, I've changed my skin, my whole cells in my body have changed multiple times since then. If you think I'm going to be that way, the way that I was then, I'm a totally different person.
Absolutely.
Many times over.
Big time. Well, that's why I'm trying to say when I went to this last reunion, everybody has changed.
Yes.
Maybe a few still had that little tendency, like a couple of the stoners, was still hey man, but they were so much fun. Oh, they've been through a lot too. And now they're married, they have kids, but they're still, hey man. So it was kind of It was
Right.
kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, I saw a lot of people where, I don't know, it's all different now in school, but we had in school the people on the honor roll. I don't even think they have
Yes. Oh,
honor
yeah.
roll anymore.
National Honor Society.
And I'd say, oh man, I don't want to
Yep.
be with them because they're so smart. They'll think I'm a dumbass.
Yeah.
Not that I was a stupid
Right.
person, but I
Right.
wasn't honor roll material. I was,
right.
was just doing
You know,
well.
You know what I was? I couldn't wait to get out of there.
You and me both.
That was me. I was
you
like,
and me both.
I was doing stuff like beyond, like outside of school. I wasn't involved in sports. I tried for theater, but I never got a part.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But I ended up doing community theater. I ended up taking voice lessons. I ended up doing other things outside
exactly.
of school. So I wasn't terribly involved in the extracurricular activities. And I wanted to just get out of there by the end of the day. I was like, I've served my time for the day.
I'm done. Get me out.
Get me out of here. So I just... And that's the thing. A lot of the people be, hey, we did football. Remember back in the day when we did the thing and threw the ball? And like, whatever.
No, I don't.
No. It's so funny. People will come up. That's what I'm thinking. People will come up to me and be, hey, I remember when you did this. I'm like, I did?
I did. Yeah, exactly. You got the right person. What? Me? Really?
What are you talking about? People's memories of you is weird.
Totally different. Oh, absolutely.
I have people and they're like, hey, I remember. It's even like old boyfriends. Okay, remember the thing we did? I'm like, no, I don't.
I don't think it was me. Check.
What are you talking about?
How many joints did you have
Clearly,
before?
it was more memorable for you than it was for me. Like,
it's true.
No. It's
my
that
goodness.
was how many people ago? Like I said, my cells in my body have changed several times since then.
Absolutely.
My brain has hopefully matured a little bit. I don't remember.
It's true. It's funny.
Put that out. No, never happened. Never happened. But that wasn't me, and it must have been somebody else. Oh.
Like I said, how many joints did you have during that period?
Right. Oh my God.
I don't know about you, but when I went to high school, I'm older than you. In the high school I went to, we had a courtyard. Our high school was in a U, and we had a courtyard. So when we used to switch classes, between periods, everybody in the courtyard, we had little smoking sections.
Yes, I knew that's what you were going to bring up.
Yeah, they smoked.
Everybody smoked.
I don't think that's not allowed.
I don't think they do that anymore.
No.
Nobody smokes in high school.
But we had little
young
crowds,
people, very protective. They're very like,
Yeah.
we're not doing this. We're going to be promiscuous. We're not going to,
Wow.
And I'm like, hey, good kids coming out now. I think a lot of the younger generation, they seem pretty solid.
Absolutely.
We were like crazy. We were like, yeah.
Well, we were feral.
We're-
Let's not forget.
We were jumping off of whatever on our bikes and stuff.
We didn't. Well,
Partying in the woods with
absolutely
really awful alcohol that would probably kill us now. Just
big time.
like
But
getting away with
like
so much.
cockroaches was still here. Honest to God.
And we got great stories,
You know what? And the nice thing
God.
is, nothing is recorded. Like everybody else today, everything's on tape or tape.
Yeah.
Look, I'm
And
showing my
that's the
age, but
thing.
yeah, it's all recorded.
I saw a thing the other day. It was like, why are younger people not dating, going out to clubs and dancing and talking, boys talking to girls or whatever? Because every place has a camera.
Exactly.
Everything's recorded,
You
and they don't want to.
Well, it's not only
What
that.
if somebody took it the wrong way?
But there's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing is. It's not even sacred. If you tell a story a certain way, I'm sure they can go back to the videotape and find out that you were lying.
Right.
So you got to watch all your, as we used to say, or my grandmother used to say, all your P's and Q's.
Yes.
I mean, you have to worry about everything because somebody's going to have something on you.
Yeah.
When we went out, nothing.
Nope.
And
but
I'm
we
like,
had to
yes.
learn, like I was saying about protection, protecting ourselves. We had to have an
time.
awareness of what was going on. But everybody's on their phones now. Put your phones down and have an awareness of who's over there. Is there somebody following me? Who's that creep coming up on me? Whatever. You got to know. And you got to learn how to deal with it. You got to have a line in your head ready to say it.
You have to have
when
your
they show
radar,
up. Right.
man. You
Absolutely.
have to have your radar on.
So,
And I noticed too many kids. I mean, they are kids. Like in Shrewsbury, I'll see in the town, there's maybe a row of 4 girls walking, but they're all walking and they're all on their phones, like going like this. I'm like, hello. I feel like rolling down the rolling down the window
right.
and saying, hey, girls, you're together. Why don't you talk? But it's like, holy crap. I mean,
and I think it's just become like a crutch almost and like a coping mechanism.
It
Sometimes
is.
I don't know what to do. You see it sitting in the doctor's office. People are on their phones.
I know I do it. I'm guilty.
Right? Because they're like,
I'm
I don't want to look at the person sitting next to me or whatever. And maybe I check my chart, to say like, oh, did my blood work come through or something like that. But sometimes I'll just put my phone down and I'll just look around.
Yeah, say, hey,
okay,
yo. Exactly.
Right?
It's so funny.
I'll smile at the older lady like, hey, hi.
Absolutely.
It'll make their day.
It's so true. I was at dermatologist's office. This was last year. And when people come in and they say their name and this person said a name and I recognized it, the last name. It's kind of convoluted from Facebook, but I knew this name because this person is not friends, actually relative of gypsies.
Okay.
Somebody that we dance with, the head of our dance troupe. Well, anyway, the girl sits down and I said, hi, are you, my name's Anne. I said, are you, I don't want to say the last name, but are you so-and-so from this family? She says, oh my goodness, I am. Well, the funniest thing is yes, she's part of that family, but she actually came to visit. She actually lives in Egypt now.
Wow.
So I was like, really? So it was weird that she was there just at that time, that she was visiting and had to go to the dermatologist at that point for whatever.
Right.
And the thing is that this was Gypsy's family. So you never know what you're going to find out or meet. Right. And if you don't do this, like say, hi, how are you? Or just acknowledge other people that are around you, you miss out.
Yes.
Like I know when I go out with my daughter, like I'll strike up a conversation. My daughter's like, oh my God, Mom. It's kind of like that commercial. What is that? That insurance commercial when you turn into your parent or something. I forget the name of that. But whatever. It's like, oh, Mom, really?
Oh, you turn into your parents.
Turn into your parents. I like to talk. I like to have fun with people. And my daughter's like mortified, but that's the younger generation. And I think it's kind of sad. I think it makes people happy to be noticed once in a while.
But I also think you have to pick up on social cues too. Like if somebody doesn't want to talk to you, then you kind of, okay.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good.
It's all good. Or wrapping up a conversation too.
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe we should start wrapping up this show.
You know what? There we go. Perfect.
Right?
This is why she's the master here. So,
but I'm just saying, sometimes, that's another thing about being
read the room
at our age is picking up social cues. And one thing I can't stand, and I noticed we are doing it. We're looking each other in the eye.
Oh, that's true.
When sometimes I talk to people, I always try to engage and let them know, hey, I'm looking you in the. And if somebody's talking to you and they're talking and they're looking down here and going, is it me? Do I have a weird thing on my face?
Exactly.
Or you just can't look me in the eye because it's too much. It's too intense. Or maybe there's something else going on.
Yeah, exactly. So you're right.
It is what it is, but I always try to make sure that I look at somebody and let them know by my facial expressions. But I also try to pick up on like if they're uncomfortable or they're trying to wrap it up, like, okay, maybe it's time to, hey, it was great to see you. Like I got this thing, even if I don't. I'm like, I gotta go and do that thing. So,
you got it.
Right? I don't know. We're just talking about stuff. So
that's what it's all about.
Let me know. Are you going to your high school reunion?
Yeah, that'd be interesting to find out. Or have you been? Yeah. Well, I think Jane should go. What do you think, guys? I think she should go.
Oh, man.
Come on.
What am I going to wear? I don't know.
Please.
What am I going to wear?
Wear the ball gown. No. Wear
go.
something you like. Something that makes you feel good. Like
I'll
like
show
Jane.
up in my puffy gown from, high school. With
the with the big sleeve. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't forget the aquanet.
Get my spiral perm going on there.
Oh,
yeah,
now
maybe.
We're talking. Hey, exactly.
Anyways,
all right.
Let's wrap it up.
I think so.
That was a lot.
It was a lot, but I think it was fun. We always have a good time here.
You never know. Next time.
Well, please always check us out on other platforms. You never know what you're going to hear. Mm-hmm. So we'll see you next time.
See you later.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. We'd like to thank you for taking time out of your day to join us in the coop with the Two Chicks Unfeathered. We hope to spread some chicken feed to you to think about, maybe learn, and maybe how to wing it at life. I hope we made you laugh, or we hope that this podcast was a small part of making this the best part of your clucking day. We want to remind you to be sure to follow Two Chicks Unfeathered on all podcast platforms.